High on a mountain in Yellowstone National Park, a lone grizzly wanders in search of edible roots. This is no ordinary grizzly. This is Bear 211, or better known to park visitors as Scarface. He walks with a noticeable limp, as well he might, as he is over 20 years old. In that time, he has wandered throughout the park and beyond. His face and ears show that he has fought in many battles with other bears over food, females, and territory. The Lamar Valley of Yellowstone's northern range can be home to Scarface, but he has roamed throughout Yellowstone's 2 million acres, making his life here in one of the few places where grizzlies can still exist in these 48 states. In Yellowstone, for the next several years, he pursues any opportunity he encounters, exploring any situation for the possibility of food. Large herds of bison roam the valley. They are a challenge for a grizzly to hunt. But a bison that has died a natural death is a food opportunity. And so he prowls this valley where he may find just such an opportunity. His endless wanderings take him near the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, in the den of the Hayden Valley Wolf Pack, 25 miles to the south. The family pack is resting and relaxed now. The white alpha female of the Hayden pack has just fed her pups. But Scarface's arrival is a threat to the pack's pups. This triggers concern in the wolves. The white alpha female rises to defend her pups. A short battle ensues behind the trees. And Scarface is convinced to move on. In his earlier life, Scarface would have fished for cutthroat trout. But now he must be content with scavenging a large suckerfish, which are still plentiful in the river, and not particular about the condition. Upstream from the den in Hayden Valley, a female and her cubs have found a dead bison floating in the Yellowstone River. When Scarface comes in, the sow and her 2 yearlings do not argue with the old-timer. He is a definite threat to the 2 cubs. Male grizzlies have been known to kill cubs, even though the female would defend them. In this case, she chooses to let the large male take control of the carcass. Safety will take precedence over food for the moment. In the highest, coldest zones, white bark pines flourish where other trees cannot subsist. In late autumn, the white bark pine has produced a crop of cones containing seeds of rich caloric content. This food source attracts many Yellowstone residents. Scarface will be found high on the slopes of Mount Washburn, feeding on the nuts of this tree. This will keep him on higher slopes, where he will have less conflict with humans. The gentle snows accumulate all winter, sometimes forming a solid foundation. Large male grizzlies may be out of their dens in February, although usually in March. Warmer winters are making this more common in Yellowstone, but females with cubs will emerge later, about April or May. He is on the eternal search for food. Another bear has discovered a winter-killed carcass at the edge of the river. This grizzly has scented it too. The smaller bear will not contest the larger. The dominant bear will always have the reward. It's snowing, but this is not winter. Instead, just a usual June snowstorm in Yellowstone. This female grizzly has been observed on Mount Washburn for 5 years. A bird exiting her nest in the aspen tree has attracted her attention. With some difficulty, she climbs to the nest to investigate. In spite of a common misperception, grizzlies actually can climb trees. She has more important things on her mind, as this is the time of year females without cubs come into estrus. She and her mate continue their courting, in spite of the near blizzard conditions. Their courting will continue for hours. Actually, they may spend a few days together in the mating process. At the end of the day, most of the snow has melted, and the courting pair display a tender closeness. Mount Washburn is all that is left of a mountain chain that was blown up by the supervolcano of 600,000 years ago. In these high alpine slopes, the pika harvests and stores hay, the plants that will sustain him through the winter. He hides his stash in little caves because he'll be buried under feet of snow for 6 months. This high elevation harbors the white bark pine. These cones contain seeds that are high in fat. Ideal food for grizzly bears and a host of other high alpine residents, too. For some, the cones are there for the picking. But the grizzly sow depends on others to first gather the seeds, especially the red squirrel, which harvests the cones, then hides their seeds in underground caches. The cones mature in the autumn, and she will continue to dig out caches until she goes into hibernation. This is an incredibly important food source. During good cone years, 90% of a bear's caloric intake will come from these seeds. Even black bear cubs will take advantage of the grizzly's excavating talents to find any remaining seeds that she's overlooked. The female black bear is drawn to investigate too. The trees are being killed by 2 decades of global warming. This threatens their high elevation position, as they cannot compete with other species of trees that are moving up the slopes. In good years, she will concentrate on the white bark pine seeds until they are buried too deep under the snow. Then, in late October or early November, the pregnant female will select a den. Most likely on the north side of the mountain. In the den, the eggs that were fertilized in June will begin the process of growing into cubs. In May, the Washburn sow emerges from her den with 2 small cubs. At this elevation, May can seem more like March, but to the cubs that know nothing but the confines of a den, this is playtime. At birth, the cubs are tiny, about 1 pound. In the den, they lived entirely on their mother's milk, but now they will begin to sample the plant foods their mother eats. She will move across the mountain face in search of roots and other vegetation. Their energy seemed boundless. The grizzly's intelligence level makes them creatures of curiosity. A telegraph line from 100 years ago will capture their interest. Even as they're learning to eat new foods, the mother will continue nursing them for a time. Her milk is 30% butterfat. The cubs will depend on her milk for 5 months. And after that, they may still nurse occasionally until they separate from her. This Washburn mother continues with her 2 cubs in early summer. But then she disappears for a month into the backcountry. When she reappears, there are 4 cubs with her. DNA tests have identified the mother of these 2 new cubs, a sow who was attacked by wolves. In the encounter, 2 of her 3 cubs became separated from their mother. Adopting cubs is unusual in the grizzly world. In this case, not only were the 2 females related, but the father of all the cubs was Scarface. The Washburn female now has 4 cubs to nurse and to dig out squirrel caches for. The next spring finds her digging out a squirrel cache, but only 1 cub watches her. Somehow, 3 cubs have vanished. Even in the best of circumstances, only about half of all cubs survive to maturity. In Yellowstone, geology rules the ecosystem. The geothermal activity deep underground affects the food sources of all its creatures. Near Roaring Mountain, on the west side of the park, spring comes much earlier due to the warming of the ground, and bison may linger there. But winter still persists outside these areas. Bear cubs usually leave their mother in their 3rd summer. For the next several years, these bears are known as subadults, the teenagers of the bear world. Then, just as in our own teenagers, some activities seem to defy explanation. A porcupine is something to be investigated by the young bear. They have to learn about porcupines the hard way. The porcupine quills are barbed, so will not come out on their own. They may continue to work their way through the bear's paw, eventually allowing him to recover. It may take a few months. He endures